Alright, today we're going to be fixing our Dyson V11 animal. So the problem is this trigger, when you pull it, it's stuck in the back position. Now, I've taken this apart before and the trigger was cracked. I super glued it. I thought I reinforced it, but it broke again. So I bought this off of eBay. I'll put a link in the description, but it took about a month to get here. I bought it from overseas, and right here is where it cracked. So they made this and it's reinforced. So we'll see if this works. It should go in there like that, and hopefully that fixes the problem. Now I have the version where you have to untake these screws out on the bottom. Then there's a screw in the back. And the battery comes right out. So this right here is the trigger that pushes the battery. And this whole assembly needs to come out. The only way for that to come out is for you to take off this whole top half, which is really a pain in the butt. So you take out the screws inside here. And I think you also have to take the screws out that are right here on this base part as well. Yep. So there's 6 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this. And then there's 2 screws right by where the handle is. And that disconnects this from this. And then don't forget about your screws inside here and keep those together. The way that I remember this working is we have to take this part off, this whole white part. So there's 2 screws, one here, one here. These screws are gone, but they came out of the other piece that we took off. So, and these are a star bit, not a Phillips. So you're going to need yourself a toolkit like this where you got some star bits. And I think it was this one. Yeah. So this is where this job gets a little bit more difficult. It's not easy for everyone to do, but this comes off with those 2 screws. And then without destroying these wires, you got to move this up. And then there's 2 screws down here. And this is where you'll want to make sure that you're disconnected from the battery. Okay, now you see those 2 metal things there. That's what hooks up the power. In order to get those out of there, we have to bend those 2 things. So you can get some needle nose pliers and bend these straight. And then you'll be able to take this straight out of there. Now you also have to disconnect this. There we go. There's this little wire with black and red, and you want to be careful not to destroy that. But then this piece comes out. Inside here, we need to take this piece out to get that trigger out. And there's a screw down inside there. That's the star bit. Now my tool that I have here, you can loosen this and then extend this thing. So you can reach all the way down inside there to get that. There's also 2 screws in here. Inside here, there's a screw there and there. Those are going to have to come off. And then since you took that screw out, this should pop right out. And here's your trigger. Alright, so here's the problem. On this trigger, there is that crack that's right there. And I super glued it, but then now it's broken again. So see that when you push that trigger in, it's supposed to push this down, but with that broken, it won't work. So pull this spring off, and you can pop this thing off. And this is the piece that I bought to replace. Now you can see that's cracked right there. Here's the new piece. What they've done is they've reinforced this section so you can see how close this is. From here to here, this is really, really wide. So hopefully it works. Okay, let's get this screw screwed in. Okay, that's in tight. The trigger works right now. Now you gotta run these wires back through this thing, which goes inside here like this. Okay, so we screwed these two screws back in, right here and right here. And now these things are gonna need to get plugged back into that piece, but we're gonna have to bend those back up. So if you remember, this goes inside here. Back up, 45-degree angle. And there we go. Got one side. Alright, so I've got these screwed in, here and here. And now this black and red wire needs to get plugged back in to this. So now we plug this back in. So remember, you don't screw anything into these top two, just the bottom two, because the top two are going to get screwed in when you put the case back on. So you just squish it right back in. Alright, now it's back together. You can see the trigger, once you get the battery pushed up, that trigger's pushing out, and I'm able to push it in and out. So it looks like it's going to work. Let's test it out. It works.